order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board for this Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Roll call, please.
Present.
Morgan.
Here.
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 Present. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, excuse me. The first item on the agenda this evening is an informal review request by 10 Hotel and Residential Community proposed to be located at 6161 Grand Avenue. As everybody knows, informals are kind of a unique thing in our procedures. It gives an opportunity for someone to come up to us, come before us at a very early stage of a program, get some candid feedback from us. We're not making any decisions or recommendations this evening. It's just going to be an informal discussion to kind of scope out what's contemplated here. So staff first.
Okay. Good evening. Kayet Enterprises is seeking informal feedback this evening on a plan to convert a portion of the current Holiday Inn, which is now Hotel Gurnee, facility into a multifamily residential apartments. The approximately 4-acre parcel is located at the southeast corner of Grand Avenue and Tri-State Parkway and requires zoning entitlement as the current C2 community commercial district does not allow for multifamily residential. The proposal intends to convert 110 of the hotel units in the existing 4-story south wing of the hotel to a mixture of 80 one-bedroom and efficiency apartments. To accommodate this multifamily project, the petitioner intends to execute a planned unit development agreement on the property. The subject parcel is surrounded by a mixture of uses, with commercial uses to the north, with Northwestern Medical Office Building and Rorman Hyundai to the west. The south is Restaurant Depot with a limited industrial use, and to the east is the residentially zoned ComEd Power Lines and Warren Cemetery. The subject parcel is currently indicated as commercial in the village's comprehensive land use plan. Deviations to the allowed zoning use, the proposed unit density and parking requirements lend this proposal to a PUD as a potential corridor to approval. The applicant is in attendance tonight to walk the PZB through their plans. Any feedback that you can provide to them will help determine their next steps. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dave. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to the Kayet organization. If you could please, anytime anyone is speaking, if you could please use the microphones in the middle there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Glenn Christensen. The Kayets have asked me to help them in the process to get this, I think, exciting project started and get them through the paperwork, the applications, and that with the village. Just to follow up on procedure, as Dave said, they will be requesting a PUD in the C2 district, and that work will be submitted, all the applications on the 29th, this Monday, to be on the agenda next month here for the public hearing on, I believe it's February 19th. And with that, I think I'll hand it over to Chris Kayet and the Kayet family to make this presentation on the plans that they have for this facility. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight under the conditions. I appreciate what you do for the community and the time you spend to keep it where it is, and our gratitude goes out to you for that. We're here tonight to discuss the formerly Gurnee Holiday Inn, currently Gurnee Motel or Hotel, and soon to be a shining star in Gurnee, and it will be called 10 Hotel and Residential Community. We, as a family, are putting everything we have into making this facility a a family affair and something we can be proud of. And we've done that throughout many communities in Lake County over the 45 years I've been in business. I want to thank my family for coming out and supporting me tonight. They've all sustained a lot of pressure, and it's never easy being in a family business. Thank you for coming out. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Elliot, Nicole, and Christian, who will make the presentation and should answer all your questions. Thank you for having us.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Dad, and I just want to reiterate, thank you guys all for coming out tonight in the cold and hearing us out on this project. So we want to take the opportunity, we understand it's for zoning, but we want to take the opportunity to bring you through the whole facility and see it as we see it. We're extremely excited. We've curated every detail in our head, and hopefully we can do justice to 10 hotel and residences and what it's going to be in this community. So together, we've thought out every aspect. We're going to take from the second that you walk into the front corridors, we're going to lighten it up. We're going to have ambiance. There's going to be a signature smell. There's going to be, music playing. It's going to be modern with soft textures and a new age vibe that you can't find right now in the Gurnee hotels. Currently, it sits at 210 hotel rooms, which is significantly larger than any hotel in Gurnee other than the water park, which is more of an entertainment use and has, in that matter. But currently, the hotels are between 70 and 80 rooms, and they're running at about 70% occupancy. And that's kind of where we started and did our numbers to work back from. So we are going to have, I just want to give you some ideas of textures, and I'm going to move to the next slide. And Nikki can kind of talk through the visions of where we started, where we came, and what it's going to encompass as far as the fields go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us. So if you could look at, we're calling it a mood board. We just want to give you the feel of what we're going for. While the Holiday Inn in Gurnee was a staple, we really want to elevate that experience and show what Gurnee is all about. We want to bring an approachable luxury without it being too stuffy. We want it to feel safe, we want it to feel warm, and we want it to feel modernized. We want people that are hotel guests to feel comfortable there, as well as the residences that will hopefully eventually live there. With mixed textures and really playing on the fact that we want to revitalize the banquet space. The ballroom is stunning. It can seat comfortably up to 600 people within the one space that can be divided into 4. So our vision is to really go back after those brides and those large events. We want to bring the brides back to Gurnee. We want to bring the conventions back to Gurnee. We're kind of sick of seeing it outsourced to surrounding towns. We're proud of this town, which is why we continue to invest in it, whether it be restaurants or hopefully the hotel and now residential industry. You'll see at the bottom, and I'll let Elliot, I don't want to skip ahead, but we had a vision for another new build, actually, in Gurnee, where we wanted to bring a breakfast restaurant into the community. We felt that there was really a need for something new. But with the structure that it sits at right now, we feel that we can put Maple Breakfast Restaurant into the facility. So I will let Elliot take this from here.
Yeah, if we could go to the next slide. So I want to start with the residences. Currently, 80% of our workforce in Gurnee is coming from outside cities. I think all of you know we're at a essential need for some, housing that our young adults can come back from college and instead of moving in their parents' basement, they can afford and live in. Right now, the majority of our apartments are towards the east side of Gurnee with really not much centralized in what I like to refer to as the entertainment district of Gurnee. So that's where we're focused. And the studio and one-bedroom apartments will have a modern feel. We're going to stay right in the price point range. So our studios will range from $1,300 to $1,600, and our one-bedrooms will range from 1600 to 1800. So really driving, we want those young adults that are working at Gurnee Mills, that are working in our surrounding restaurants, instead of driving from outside towns or wherever they're coming from, to live in Gurnee, spend their money in Gurnee, have fun in Gurnee, and be close to their family. We've had the opportunity, myself, Christian, Nikki, we've had these young adults work with us in the restaurants, and we hope to have some of them live with us in our residences. So this will show you, if you go to the next slide. So this will show you a layout of our one-bedroom apartment. It'll be approximately 700 square feet. So you have a living area, nice closet area in the main room with a nice kitchenette. All the kitchens will be equipped with a refrigerator, freezer, stovetop, dishwasher, and sink and washing sink. And then if you could go to the next slide. So that gives you an idea of the layout. This gives you an idea of the textures that we're going to bring in and the colors and the design, which really, I mean, I would live there. Honestly, everyone that we've gone through, from our architect through the different stages of this have, they've said, oh, this would be a great office or a great place where I could go and stay and live and have, as a single adult. So, Nick, do you want to kind of walk through some of the modern feels and what your vision was inside the rooms?
Yes, so just to piggyback what I said earlier, we want it to feel luxurious, but at an affordable rate. We feel that, to Elliot's point, we really have the luxury of having this test market with the employees that we have, and they're all living in surrounding towns where there's a want for this. The existing apartment locations that they have are either in bordering towns that maybe are not ideal for what they're looking for, or there's really just no space for them. So they're coming now from 30 miles away. So we wanted to utilize as much as we can, because they really did upkeep the Holiday Inn very, very well. I don't know if you guys have been there recently, but they really did an impeccable job of keeping up the facility. So to make it as cost-effective and efficient as we can, we're kind of playing on the existing tones that are there, but elevating it. So adding some modern touches behind on an accent wall, adding some life to it, nice quartz countertops, in a functional space that, again, is drivable.
And I just want to, so I met with Randy from Gurnee Mills Mall, because we have a restaurant in there that we often struggle to have, help with, because there's, no easy way to get there. They're taking buses, or, it makes it difficult. And he's ecstatic, and I think he gave his recommendation that he's going to have a place where his workforce and the people hopefully working in the mall can walk across the street and go to work. If we go to the next slide. So this shows you the layout of the studio apartments. Again, you'll walk in, you'll have your bathroom immediately, and then you'll have a small kitchenette, which will house the same appliances. You'll have a stovetop, refrigerator, freezer unit, dishwasher, and then a sink. And then you're going to have, a small living area, and then the bed located in the top corner there. If you go to the next slide, you can see the exact aesthetic and a better layout of how that will look through a 3D view. So we feel the residences, for what we want to do with the rest of the hotel, provide us with a base to do the things that we want to do to build it up. So if you go to the next slide, or let me back up real quick. We're also going to offer some incredible, you can go to the next slide, some incredible amenities for the young adults. I think any of you who have children know they don't like doing laundry. They don't like cleaning their room. And I think that'll continue through, early, late 20s, even early 30s. I'm 41. I still don't like doing laundry. So we're going to offer full-service laundry for them that's available next day. $2 per pound, very reasonable. The average adult has 10 pounds of laundry a week. So it's an amenity that they can use inside the hotel that we hope they'll enjoy, and at a very cost-efficient rate. There also is laundry in the hotel currently that's coin-based, so if they want to do their own, by all means, do their own. If you go to the next slide. Another additional amenity, right now, currently in the hotel, there's a small gym right off the pool area. So we're going to take that gym, we're going to convert that to a flex space yoga studio, and then we're going to add a larger footprint, 1,200 square foot gym on the east side of the pool. That'll have, all your modern equipment, 24-hour access, and a nice amenity along with the pool for the residences and hotel guests to use. In addition, right outside of our Maple restaurant, We're going to have a small, we call it our market. We're going to call it the market. It's going to have some grab-and-go items, some fresh produce, some, your Advil, Tylenol, some stuff for the pool, and then, a couple other grab-and-go items where, young adults, young individuals can just go into the market, grab a few things, and they don't have a loaded refrigerator all the time that they have to stock. They can grab those essential items from us. We're also going to be featuring 10 giftable retail inside of the market. Do you want to talk?
Sure.
Yeah.
In addition to all that, we would like to bring in some local vendors. There are tons of people that live right here in Gurnee that have products and services to offer, so we would like to give a portion of our market space for our local vendors, local manufacturers, and local suppliers.
Piggybacking, we're staying in the residential side. Security has been one of our first and foremost top priorities. We've hired the services of McCarthy and Burns, who is one of the top security agencies in the country. Robert Burns is with us this evening, and he's going to kind of go over our security plan. We'll have 24-hour surveillance on the security side, and we want to make sure that it's a secure, safe facility for our adults, our hotel guests, our residences, and our banquet facility. So that's the top priority, and Bobby's going to go more into that as we go on. I'm not going to touch base on the numbers this evening, so you can skip 2 slides. Next, we're going to talk about a little bit about the banquet facility. So the current banquet facility, pre-COVID, was doing close to $5 million in revenue. To date, they're doing $400,000 this year to date. So we're going to totally rejuvenate that banquet facility. Like Nikki said, we're going to bring our brides back to Gurnee. Currently, we have room for 800 people in the facility, and we already have multiple contracts for local vendors and things such as the Southern Wine and Spirits liquor shows. We have some cheer and dance camps that we're going to bring into the community that'll be spending money at the Gurnee Mills Mall and at our local amenities. And one of our something we're pretty proud of, we work with the Navy families that graduate every Thursday night at the Naval Base. And with the hotel, the way it's set up, we work with one of the members. If you could go to the next slide. So currently they are using a Waukegan facility to house their graduations and feed their graduates and their families, and they're staying in Waukegan hotels and Waukegan facilities. We've got not a contract, but an agreement with them that we're going to donate our banquet room, our ballroom to them every Thursday night for their graduations, and we're going to offer, they'll be staying with us Tuesday through Sunday in the hotel to really, and in the restaurants, in the hotel, and dining with us hopefully throughout the week. So pretty proud of that. We've offered them discounts, not only on room rates, but on local dining at all of our restaurants, and working with Randy at the Gurnee Mills Mall to offer them incentives to be there as well. Yeah, and provide a shuttle to the mall. You can go. So one of the issues that we were presented with the zoning change to a residential community was parking, as the zoning ratio changes, or the parking ratio. So we are in contact with with ComEd on their utility easement to the east of the property. You'll see there it's highlighted in red. So we have an application put together, and we have initial talks that are saying it's approximately 2.19 acres, and so we'll use that for overflow parking when needed. We'll maintain the ground and use it valet-style overflow parking when we have large banquet events or need extra parking. Currently, there's 298 parking spots on the facility. Just to back up on the parking, because this is a process that could take 2 to 3 months, so we want to cover all of our bases. We've also spoken with Randy at the mall, and we're putting together a lease with Gurnee Mills where we'll be able to use their parking via shuttle when we have large events. They have those in place with other vendors and currently Hotel Gurnee now. So that's something that is not an issue and will be in place very soon. Christian has also been in conversation with Rohrman to the north of, or to the west of us, and we'll be putting together a lease agreement where we can use their lot for overflow parking as well. So we're really taking to the notes and making sure that we are covering parking in all bases, and want to make sure our guests, our residences are accommodated at all times. You can go to the next slide. So we're really excited about the breakfast and lunch restaurant that we're bringing into Gurnee. I think any Gurnee resident can tell you we need some modern breakfast. I mean, there isn't anything right now. There's some great breakfast places, but they're more of, a different style, whereas we want to bring that modern Libertyville, Vernon Hills style breakfast scene to Gurnee, and we think that the 10 residences and hotel will be a great spot to do it. So we're going to call it Maple. We'll have a full-service coffee shop that will be, if you haven't been in the hotel, right when you walk in, the restaurant is currently to the left side, to the left side. So we're going to bring a coffee shop, cafe, boutique style that you can grab and go coffee, such as like a little fast Starbucks, but we're going to do a private boutique brand. So that'll be serviceable to the residences and the guests walking through, and also service the restaurant for those coffee items as well. But Nikki can walk you through some of the different things that we're going to do inside of the restaurant and how we're going to.
So we really, if you can see, we really want to bring the outside in and make it feel like an escape. So when people are making decisions on where they're staying, at a hotel, we look different than the other places that just have your typical continental breakfast. We also want people from the community to dine there. So as Elliot said, bringing that new age, vibrant space to Gurnee is something that we're really excited and proud of. What you can't see in this image, and this is just an inspiration. So as it sits right now, it goes restaurant, terrace, and then our pool area. So what we'd like to do is open up via large glass sliders, which the infrastructure for it is already there. So it would be an open air restaurant into the terrace, and then we'd like to do that on the opposite side in the pool. So the pool would have an open air feel as well. This way, if you're working from your computer or you're there at the hotel with your children and they're playing in the pool, you can sit outside, you can sit and have a cup of coffee, you can sit and finish your breakfast or your mimosa while your kids are playing in the pool. And it will be the first and only of its kind in Illinois if we can execute that plan.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that?
Yeah. So a little importance of the number 10. As you can see, we're a huge family that we put all our heart and soul behind it. Our kids, our parents, our spouses, So 10 is an inspiration to us. We lost a brother in 2003, and his number was 10. So, and 10 has been our lucky number for a long time, and it comes through a lot. So the cardinal also is a reminder of our brother Marshall. So, 10 isn't just a name, it's our heart and soul. So that's kind of more of the heart and soul of this project that we're putting together. So just so you know that, so keep going here.
We can go to the next slide. So we're just gonna, the pool as it sits has some history and some issues, so we're actually gonna bring that pool up at the depth so it won't be as deep as it currently is. We're gonna modernize it. We're gonna give it a softer feel. And as Nikki said, we're gonna put some sliders on the pool door to kind of create that indoor-outdoor feeling instead of, sitting in a chlorine-smelling indoor pool. But Nikki has also already touched on that. So lastly, on the north side, next slide. On the north side, there'll be a cocktail lounge that will be open from 4 o'clock through the remainder of the evening. We plan to feature some live music, pianos. We have several acts in our parlor event space currently at Primo that'll be we'll be sharing with 10, and so it'll be soft music, ambient music, something for young adults to do, as well as a pair of golf simulators that'll be inside of the lounge area as well, that we're hoping that the residences and the hotel guests will use regularly. And lastly, we have you can go past this slide. So this will be a rendering of how we're gonna change the facade of the outdoor building, and we're gonna add, a tremendous amount of lighting. We're gonna make it look beautiful. I don't know if any of you who have been through Antioch lately, we just are renovating a restaurant there, and it went from a 5-acre barn that looked like it was haunted to now this beautiful mirage that sits, and we plan to do the same thing at the 10 hotel and residences.
I want to make Ken stand out. I want it to be a shining star. I want it to shine down on Gurnee. I have a vision, my kids have a vision. My vision is, Ken, we are going to make it exceptionally, extraordinarily perfect, as Gurnee is. We're proud of it, and I hope you give us the opportunity.
So,
Did you touch on the apartment 24-hour service?
yeah, so another, yeah, we did the cleaning. Another amenity, the last amenity to the apartment, we plan to have, instead of ordering through DoorDash or Uber or things like that, there'll be 24-hour room service available to the residences, hotel, and residences 24 hours a day, so they can, 10 minutes have a meal brought up to their room and be eating. Yeah, so that's the presentation, and I hope we've given the reason why, that zoning and that base just provides an opportunity to renovate the hotel, because it's a 240,000 square foot facility, and that we feel it vital to sustain it, to have that base.
The last thing I wanted to touch on is we're going to bring in some experts in the industry. Obviously, we're an entertainment expert, but we plan to hire some state-of-the-art people to operate our hotel. And, we obviously know the entertainment business. We've been in it since 1975 with my dad starting. And, I think that aspects, you'll never see banquets like we're going to do there. We're going to bring back banquets that haven't been in this area in a long time. But we're also going to have an exceptional hotel that people are going to love to stay at. So I think that it will really make sense in our community, and I think there'll be a lot of tax revenue brought in as well with all the entertainment, food, and hotel revenue that'll be coming in as well. So.
All right, Palmer would like to say something.
Why we need the apartment zoning?
Yeah, they want you to talk here.
Yeah, talk here, and then Bobby can finish us up with. All right, then come say it.
I want to touch on why we're here and why we need that zoning. And why it's so important. The reason why is the occupancy rate in Gurnee on apartments right now is about 0, maybe 5% vacancy. And that vacancy, currently the hotel is running at 70% vacancy. So by having that stable, separate, literally separate building in the back that we can convert to these beautiful apartments, that we can count on the revenue every month, the same time, the same place, and it just makes it work. It makes the whole thing work. And that is the reason we are asking you to give us this variance in zoning.
Thank you.
That's all right.
All right, I'm going to invite Bobby over. He's not going to be long. He's just going to kind of go over what we're talking as far as security.
Good evening. My name is Robert Burns. I'm a partner in the risk management security company McCarthy Burns. My business partner is the former superintendent of Chicago. He was also a 25-year veteran with the New York Police Department, and he left as deputy commissioner. He served as deputy commissioner during 9/11. He brings a lot of experience, as well as I do. I retired with 30 years as a deputy chief. In the brochures that we gave you is a little bit of a bio about some of our other team members. Mostly all retired chiefs or deputy chiefs from suburban and Chicago. We also have Secret Service and FBI retired agents that work with us. Some of the larger projects we worked on is we were responsible for all the security at the distribution center for the census, for the 2020 census. We just finished a completion of a security assessment staff study at Joliet Police Department. Another recent one we did was the Kenilworth School District. So we travel around, we do security at other states and bit large businesses, banks, financial institutions. We're very excited to partner on this from the ground up. We will take a look at their policies and procedures at the current location, and then again inside the presentation that we gave you, you'll see a step-by-step of how we will be involved in the planning, the building, and then the operation of the business. So we're signing on long-term to be with them. And then also, we have our security and private investigation license, so we would also be able to help them with the physical security when needed. Thank you.
I'd like to add something to that. I spoke with Tony Scarfelli, who happens to be Nicole's father, and who is part of McCarthy Barnes. But this is very important, this security aspect, and we want this hotel to be nationally known as the most secure place in Illinois to stay with your family. So we took it upon ourselves to bring McCarthy in, and the real job they're going to perform is risk management. They're going to manage any risks they see and tell us how and what needs to be done to cure that risk. And we're going to use a lot of surveillance equipment so that we're always under control, in control of the building. There's going to be a lot of people in this building. We want security as to be a priority. And so the Burns, McCarthy Burns will help us design that plan to be secure wherever you are in that building. And it basically comes down to any risk will be managed by this team.
We always bring in the ringer. She would like to do this. Okay, go ahead.
About like we could do a kids playroom so the kids, so when it's like morning time the kids could play like in the pool, or they could like have a like little playroom, and like it's kind of like fun playroom with like some toys and all play stuffies and squishmallows and everything else.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we are happy to answer them.
Okay. You can start.
Sure.
Looks like an ambitious project. I really liked the presentation. One of the things I liked is the fact that you stayed with studio and efficiency apartments and not tried to put families in there. That would have bothered me.
Yeah,
So being it's only single room, I think it's a better fit for a hotel use.
Correct.
I guess my biggest concern for you guys is the parking. It sounds like the restaurant that you talked about, you're right, we don't have anything like that in Gurnee. And how do you plan on managing parking for the restaurant, especially if you have conventions?
Yeah, so through the several outlets that we spoke of, when we have large events, we'll coordinate with the surrounding, the utility easement with, I can't say that it's done, but they are very comfortable, and we're gonna go through their process, but we'll be able to park 100+ cars in that area. And they're comfortable with us moving forward. It's just, we have to go through their process, as well as overflow into Gurnee Mills and the Rorman parking lot that we're currently working on leases. Gurnee Mills is a sure thing, that's not an issue. The space will change, they spoke of, where we park from time to time, depending on what they have going on at the mall. But he's very comfortable that there's always extra parking on the Gurnee Mills property.
So the people coming to the restaurant would use valet parking then, or?
Yeah, valet parking, if needed, during prime peak times.
Yeah, we will all.
You also came up with a lot of ideas for your convention hall, banquet hall, which sound great. Do 100 rooms support something like that?
Yes, we feel that it does. I mean, and it's gonna help the surrounding community, so our 100 rooms will be filled and hopefully fill the remainder of the hotels in Gurnee.
Ah, true. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We have, Gurnee area has plenty of occupancy, as we stated. Everyone's operating at about 70%. And I don't know if I did state it, but the residences will be at 18 and over residents, is where we're going. So there won't be kids in the residence.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea too. I mean, we had looked at other projects and there was just no place for the kids. I mean, trying to make a family community in a hotel would not set well with me, but.
No.
As
And this
far as
isn't, yeah, this isn't for that. This is for those young adults that, again, it could be pretty daunting coming back from school and moving into a basement and feeling like you lost your independence, or you're maybe not where you want to be. And we want to fix that. We want to help that. It's important. And I think this is who that is for, those young adults.
Yeah, and you're right next to the industrial park, so you have a lot of employees there that might be able
Correct.
to use something like that too, so.
Correct.
Okay, that's the only thing I really had.
Todd?
Again, thank you. I'm extremely impressed with your presentation. I think first question I have would be to staff. Could this also be considered like an extended stay, where we can designate it that, so we don't have to go through a whole lot of other rigmarole?
We evaluated that option with the applicant as well as with our codes. There's pretty much a line of delineation for extended stay and, non-transient apartments, both in the building codes, both in our hotel licensing ordinances. In some ways, extended stay is a higher threshold to meet in the building codes. Apartments actually is a lower threshold because people have a familiarity with their surroundings and being able to get out in case of an emergency. So we did look at that with the applicants, and they settled on more the apartment choice rather than going through the extended stay process.
Okay. I think security, like you say, is very important. How do you segregate people from the hotel going into the residence area and vice versa? How do you keep that so that you don't have people just wandering in the private area, shall we say, versus the hotel area?
Yeah, so can I walk up here and show you?
Sure.
So as the hotel sits, it's two separate buildings currently. The south building was added, so this will be the residences, and everything will be key card in and out. So the residences will be able to get into the hotel area, but the hotel guests will not be able to enter the residences with their cards in any area. So it'll be separated off through key card access.
And we also looked at that card situation with the parking. So the residences would have a separate parking area from the general public in the hotel.
That was my next question. Or you have designated parking just for the residents. So, if you have a big event and then they get home and they have no place to park.
No, that'll be separated. That was a key item in the situation. And just one other point while I'm up here was that the fact that you have some residential being brought within the Gurnee Mills area, I think is fantastic. I think if you look at a lot of other shopping centers within our area, the multi-family component is entering every one of those shopping centers as they reinvent themselves. So I think this could be a very good start and perhaps be a catalyst for other projects. So.
And how long will the leases be for each facility? Is it going to be a 1 year? Or?
1 year lease. Yeah, we see, Gurnee Mills employees, our employees, Great America employees living in this facility, working in the area, and enjoying the amenities in the area.
Sure. Very impressed also with all the information. Very innovative project, very unique to bring to the community. Yes, I would love to dine and visit there. It looks great. So thank you for that. I was thinking that, I work at College of Lake County, and for some time I work with international students. I'm like, this would have been a great place for international students to live. So it's a small population, but, very, just perfect for them. And I don't think you're going to have any problems renting it out. It's going to be great. The only thing I'm a little concerned about, and I know these are single, over 18, it's just the traffic. If you're in an apartment, it's just, traffic on Grand and not as much on Tri-State, but still, I'm concerned about the Grand. But the other thing is green areas outdoors. For the hotel, yes, it's okay. You stay there for a few days, a couple of days. But if you're living there, I would like to see a little bit more outdoor because it's a living place, even for singles, I think green outdoors. So that would be my thought for you, something to think about.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's why we're going to do the sliders in the pool area, and you'll have that courtyard, and we're going to extend that out. We haven't fully developed that area, but that courtyard area will be your outdoor sitting.
Is the pool, so the residents are also able to use the pool anytime?
Yes.
So this whole area right in here is currently got a fountain in it, but it could definitely be an outdoor space that could be comfortable to go sit and have outdoor furniture, and it'll also be right off our pool, and it will be a beautiful outdoor space right there.
Yeah, it divides the restaurant and the pool. It's probably 2,000 square feet that we're going to have indoor, outdoor interactive. And if you'd allow us, we'll put a rooftop on. It'd be great.
Yeah.
We'd love that. We just didn't even try to present it today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. Commissioners have asked pretty much most of the questions and concerns I had. I'm really concerned about the parking, and when you're coming back, you said you're looking to present this to, for the public hearing, have that part really fleshed out, because that's an issue, right? I was there for an event on Monday, and they were doing the shuttle thing again with Gurnee Mills. They had permission there to park and do the shuttles back and forth. I had to get there an hour early just to snag a parking space, and so the parking is an issue. And in taking away the parking spaces, I like that, and I'm assuming that for the residents, it'll be gated, controlled some type of way, right, so that the residents have the allotted parking spaces that's necessary. But just have the parkings really fleshed out with regards to if it's the easement with ComEd. It doesn't look like that's paved. Is that paved?
No, it's not currently paved.
It's not currently paved, so I don't know if you're gonna valet it. I'm assuming you'll have to pave it, or if it's gravel, you'll only be able to use it at certain times of the year, right? You're gonna have to kind of work through those. Certainly like the aspect Commissioner Campbell noted, that was my concern in terms of the hotel guests and the residents, the security of the residents, right? And the key fob getting into residents, perfect. I like that part. And also, Axton answered already was my concern with regards to the age group. Right. This is, we had precedent before where there was another group that came, presented something across the street on the west side, right? And we could not get comfortable recommending or just having the conversation about that based on the age group. So if this is something that's adult only, which you mentioned, 18 and over, then I can get a little bit more comfortable with that.
Absolutely. Yes, and it will be. And so the event they had on Monday was 600 people. And just, not to throw salt, I think you could tell they're operating on a bare bones staff, which again, that feeds back to the residents as being so essential to give us that base to do everything properly. They were running, I think, 2 shuttles. It might have been just one. And
I think it's one, yeah.
We're fully in the business. We understand if people can't park and get in the facility, that's going to be a big issue for us. And that's one of our major things that we're working on.
Yeah,
So-
because you're going to be neighborly, right? And the easement right now covers, I think, the medical center as well. So you're not going to have really good neighborly conversations with that group if you're taking over their parking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that a full-time valet service will be at our facility, and I think that'll be, just like you would go to any big function at a hotel, you got 5 valet guys parking cars, which is what we'll probably need, and hopefully we'll need. it won't be an issue to get a parking spot. So we definitely are, yeah, without parking, you don't have a facility, so we know that.
Yeah, that's one of my primary concerns. Again, we've got density issues here, right? Because we're gonna be 4 times the allowable in an R6. I mean, the PUD would work, but again, the density issues combined with the parking issues, not as much concerned about the traffic. You're on a lighted intersection, right? So adding some additional cars there, back and forth. You've got access to Grand Avenue and Washington Street, right? So I think you'll be all right with that, but just making sure that you've got a nice blend and facilities associated for the residents, and accommodations, particular in the parking and everything else, is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I've got a question. What will the view be like for your residents? What will they see out of their living room window?
So to the south, there's a buffer of green. So all the south side residential units will be looking at the growing trees.
Okay.
And then the north side residential units will be staring into the courtyard and the pool area.
Okay. And then, we all have parking concerns. We're always interested in the parking. Just want to make sure that your neighbor, Northwestern Medical, is not hampered by this at times. And hopefully, if you're as successful as you say you will be, there will be parking issues, So I'm glad that you've addressed that first. And it looks very exciting, and it's unique, and it's different. And I like what you think about bringing the brides back to Gurnee.
Right?
Yeah.
None of us are going to have to, well, never mind. Yeah, we're very excited. And we appreciate that comment, because.
Thank you. It's a great presentation too, by the way.
Thank you.
And I think it's the trend all around, in the surrounding communities, that people are looking for this style of living, It's like the downtown living within a community,
Yeah, it's
so-
very urban. It's very urban.
Yes, yes.
I also would like to applaud and thank you for the quality of the presentation. It was really top-notch. It's among the best that I've ever seen come before us in recent years.
Nice, because I think my dad was going to give me a hard time when I got done.
One more time for the record.
Yeah. No. You definitely hit the bell on this one. I know it's informal and everything, but I think I want to state something. It's been alluded to. There was another apartment type proposal came to us informally about 6 or 7 months ago, and it was a resounding no from us. And I just want to point out there are a lot of differences here. You're geared toward the 1-bedroom and studio thing, which alleviates the concern that we had before about families. It's already an existing building, so we're not dealing with new setbacks or anything like that. The amenities that you're going to have on site, the laundry services, the mini mart or convenience mart, whatever you want to call it, I think is all noteworthy stuff that really kind of addressed a lot of our concerns that we had with the other product that came before us before. Dave, I think you're looking for direction from us in terms of best route to go. PUD seems to be the way, right? Okay.
PUD is the most straightforward way to solve the issues, to put proper controls on the redevelopment of the site, deal with the parking, the density, and any other aspects of the development that may not meet the straight codes of the C2 district.
Okay. All right. So I'm not hearing any negative vibes in terms of saying that, you shouldn't go to the next step. So does anybody have any other closing comments?
I just have another question real quick. You were talking about looking out over the trees on the south. Do you own that property?
We don't own that. I mean, we own it up to the buffer line, and then it's restaurant, there's a buffer, and then restaurant depot.
So that area could be developed then?
You looked,
Yeah.
yeah, you go ahead, you looked.
We're looking into that. I talked to David about it a little bit. I've got the engineer telling me that it's a lot of wetlands. I don't understand why, but it may be uninhabitable, put it that way. but if we could get our hands on that piece of property, we are going to do it.
Yeah, when Restaurant Depot was developing, they originally had their site plan scooted north, up against the property line. The thing that moved them south was the tree replacement ordinance. So they didn't want to get into and take down the trees and have to replace the quantity of trees that they would have. The area to the south was a little more clear, so they opted to scoot their site plan to the south and preserve that band of trees.
So do they own that property then, Dave?
Restaurant Depot still owns the property. It's not been subdivided. It's part of their property lot.
So it would be a lengthy process.
Our initial conversation with them, it will be a long process. I can't count on that, otherwise we would have had that in our presentation. Currently, it is not a possibility due to conditions and negotiations.
Yeah. When we did the Northwestern Medical Building to the north, we did investigate, or they did investigate having parking under the ComEd right-of-way. They were pursuing that up until a point where they were able to make the numbers work on their site with a combination of valet and cross parking. So ComEd does do those types of agreements. We've got one at Kaiser's Pizza. They have a ComEd easement to allow parking underneath the ComEd lines there. So it is, I think they'll typically do 10-year easement agreements for parking. So that is a viable option as well. We actually had a plan developed for parking over there, and I think it was like 50 or 60 cars that was brought forward and we approved, and ComEd was approved, but they ended up not needing it based upon their current operating agreement.
Okay. Does ComEd allow pavement underneath their lines?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Need it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Good luck with your next steps,
Thank you
and
so much.
we look forward to seeing you again.
It's a heart and soul project, so we're here for you.
I can tell. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a final plat of re-subdivision for 4060 Rudd Court. Autrian or Dave? Yeah, you can go. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Mr. Sohail Aga is seeking the re-subdivision of property located at 4060 Rod Court. The subject property is approximately 21,700 square feet and is zoned R3 district. The re-subdivision leads to two parcels that will be conforming to all the R3 dimensional standards. The scope of the project does not include any changes to the existing public improvements and easements, and no new public improvements or easements are proposed. The re-subdivision plat generally conforms to village ordinances, while a few minor adjustments are needed before the village board meeting. Engineering staff recommends that the planning and zoning board forward a favorable recommendation to the village board for this re-subdivision.
Does anybody have a question? Does anybody have any questions?
I'm assuming that it's drawn that way to give them 10,000 square feet.
Correct.
I'm assuming that the lot lines are that way to allow for an even 10,000 square feet.
One of them is 10,001 square feet, the north parcel, but yes, that was the main purpose of drawing that line that way. So the northern property is like, over 10,000 square feet.
And that it meets the proper setbacks for the remaining lot with the existing home. So the existing home would not become non-conforming at the point that the lot was drawn in. So that's why it's bent that way.
So it avoids variances and other deviations.
Exactly.
And while it looks weird, it's on paper, it's a lot cleaner that way.
Correct.
Okay, and I assume that some of the other issues before it goes to the board is addressing like the ancillary structure that would be on Lot 2?
Yes.
Okay.
That would have to be removed within 6 months of the recordation of the plat.
Okay, all right. Unless there's any other questions, a motion in the form of a recommendation would be in order.
I can. Motion to forward a favorable recommendation on the final re-subdivision plot for the property at 4060 Rood Court.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
I'm going to give it to Liliana. She was trying to get the, she was trying to have the original. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Campbell.
Aye.
Morgan.
Yes.
Paff.
Aye.
Martin.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
And Sula.
Aye, motion carries. Next meeting on the calendar is the 5th of February. Are we going to have anything?
As of now, nothing.
As of now, no?
Nothing, no cases.
Okay, all right. I'm going to open the floor to the public if anyone has any questions about anything that wasn't on the agenda this evening.
Good evening, my name is Liz Nelson. I live at 1605 Silvergate Court, and I stand here with a few other residents that are part of a growing group of advocates for affordable housing. Our village needs more affordable housing, and I think the hotel conversion project has the potential to address some of this need. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development defines affordable housing as paying 30% of your gross income towards housing. The gross monthly income for a full-time cashier at Walmart or a housekeeper at Great Wolf Lodge is about $3,030, and 30% would be $909 toward housing. According to Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, Gurnee currently has no rentals available at that price. In 2023, Lake County Partners published a housing analysis of Lake County. In order for Lake County to attract and retain residents and businesses, it must have a diverse housing stock that provides options for households at different life stages, ages, incomes, and sizes. It needs a greater diversity beyond owner-occupied single-family detached homes. The lack of housing will limit the county's ability to attract and retain workers, particularly with an aging population and projected decline in the working age population. The bottom line is that given the existing shortage of affordable rental units in the county, there is demand for 7,900 units for seniors and families. There are a few incentives available for developers to have some of their project be affordable. If a developer will make at least 15% of the units available for people making 60% of the area median income, there are reductions in assessed property value available through Lake County government. Also, Community Partners for Affordable Housing has a rental housing support program that provides direct payments to rental property owners to subsidize up to 70% of the rent. Gurnee needs to make sure potential developers are aware of these programs and also offer their own incentives to increase affordable housing in our community. Our retail and hospitality workers deserve to live in our community, as do our recent college grads, older adults, preschool teachers, and other people making $60,000 a year or less. Please advocate for and approve projects that include more housing density and some or all of the units at affordable prices. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Okay, I'm going to close the floor to the public. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Campbell. Second.
Second?
Second by Mr. Papp. We got shy today. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone, and thank you for your, I know.